Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brothers Whim podcast. I'm your host, Ian, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother and co-host, Matthew. Matthew, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Ian. As always.
News. Oh, yeah? Always doing good.
Oh,
Never
always.
a dull moment
Nope.
in the life of Matthew.
No, there's always
I'm
something
trying to open my water bottle now sneakily without making too much noise.
I'll do the
'cause
same.
I didn't do that before. Yeah. Anyway, that was a thrilling opening. Yeah. So how you doing, Matthew? You feeling good? You said you're always good.
Oh, yeah. There's never a dull moment, as you said. Except
for our
work was a bit much, but it's always fun.
the old 9
the
to 5, you know.
The thrill of coming close to 4 o'clock when I get off and having 10 things to do Monday. And it's reliant on multiple other people doing their job, and they didn't. So,
and he still finds time for us.
Yeah.
What a guy. Matthew, he's a man of the people.
Humanitarians, what some people call me, but you don't have to call me
some
that.
people, yeah. Speaking of needing a transition, you got a haircut, Matthew.
I did. And you did as well, correct?
I did, yeah, today, actually. You got yours a couple days ago.
Tuesday, yep.
Yeah, it looks good. So for those of you that don't see Matthew often in person, he used to have long hair. You can tell more about
the podcast.
It, Matthew.
Yeah, if you watch the podcast in the past, you'd see a couple episodes. Yeah. If you watch the YouTube one, you'll know I had extremely long hair down to the shoulders, and I just got it all cut off. I actually shaved too, so it's a completely new look. It's jarring. I personally don't like it. I like it. I like how it looks right now. Honestly, I think I look much better on camera than I have in the mirror. So that's a plus.
Your hair looks good now. I like it. Also,
yeah, I like how it looks now. But yeah.
I think there's some background noise. I think the fan above me is on, so I'm sorry for anyone listening. And if that's maybe you could fix that in post, man.
I'm not a wizard, Ian. Sound is sound. If sound is happening, sound's happening.
You always cut it out, you know.
I'll just cut all your speaking parts out, so it'll just be me.
Sounds good. Talking to nobody. All right. Well, apologies if it comes through obnoxiously, but yeah, no, it's super. It looks great. I mean, you had that hair since what, like February of 2020, and then. Yep. Were you going to grow it out before COVID, or were you going to keep it? I'm sorry, were you going to grow it out before COVID, or did COVID make you want to keep it?
COVID just kind of facilitated keeping it. So, like, I hadn't gotten cut during COVID because you really couldn't. Like, there was no point. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to leave at all, honestly. I just stayed home most of the time. And so I just never got my hair cut. And it got past the awkward phase that I normally cut it at. So I just wanted to see what would happen. And then it got to laziness. It got to, like, around the ear. And then I was like, I could get it cut now. But never did until now. I woke up with hair in my eyes and my mouth everywhere. I couldn't comb it. It was too thick. It was too bushy. Ian's leaving the podcast.
No, I turned off the tank. I think it's too loud. But you keep going. You're doing great.
All right. Well, I'll keep stalling for time. But I woke up. I sweat a bit while sleeping sometimes, and I got sweat all in my hair, and it was nowhere else, and it was just a mess. Every day, woke up with something wrong with it, and I just put it under a beanie because that's all I really could do. I didn't care about, taking care of it, showing it off or anything. I thought it looked good, but it's too much to have long hair. Shout out to all the women with long hair. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just because, like, it's a gender norm to grow it out when you're young, and it's just like, it's there, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
used to doing it.
But, like, I didn't get a haircut from, like, May of 2020 to, like, I got my haircut by Emma in May just because she wanted to try it. Mm-hmm. And then I just was like, I'm going to let it grow out because I still don't want to go get my haircut. And her haircut was fine, but I was like, why not? And mine just kind of froze out. So, and I mean, you kind of have to get through that awkward phase. But I was like, no, I don't want it, So I just got it cut in, like, December, and that was it. And it was just getting annoying at that point, even for me. Like, I was just wearing a hat most times. So I don't blame you for cutting it. Mine, I just got a normal haircut, so no need to write home about mine if you were planning on doing that. But Matthews, you should definitely write a letter about.
I don't like. I think I've been explaining it as, like, I think they cut it into an awkward phase of my hair. Right now, honestly, I don't know what's up, but it looks the best it's ever looked, in my opinion. Normally, it just goes straight up. It doesn't curl. It doesn't go to the side at all like this. It just straight up, frizzy, and it looks terrible. And then the sides are just like, they just look so uneven, but they're long, so I guess it makes sense.
You look
But,
like
you
you're
know.
going towards Jimmy Neutron, like you're like working towards
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Neutron
yeah,
style
yeah.
hair.
You go a little bit further, and then you can just start going up instead.
Mm-hmm. And then just curl in that nice little like
Yep.
frozen yogurt cone style shape. You know, I think
I'll
that
try
would
to
be
do that.
that's
I'll
the
do that
next
for the
step.
podcast.
Just for the
Grow my hair off of
listeners.
that. Yep.
I don't know how many. I don't think we have many people who watch it anymore. I think it's mostly people just listening, like through podcast version.
There's a decent YouTube following.
All right. Then maybe they're
People check it out. I know they check it out.
I just like how you're like, all right, I'm gonna dedicate to do this visual thing for our mainly auditory program.
It's fair, but you got to bring in the viewers somehow.
I guess that's how. So I mean, if
They'll hear about it on the audio platform, then guess what? They'll go over to the video platform. We'll get 2
that's
views.
double views, baby. Yeah, can't argue with those numbers. That's one more than we would have gotten either way.
It's 2 cents instead of 1 cent.
When did we get our first check, by the way?
Well, yeah, I mean, when YouTube decides to pay us the $1 million they owe.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, they definitely owe us a lot. So, but
they're backlogged in the first 20 episodes. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the haircut looks good. I'm excited that you're moving on from the long hair though, just because like it was getting kind of like you just always wear that beanie, and I didn't even see it most of the time. I'm just like, oh yeah, there it is. Like it would come out like sometimes, and like with how hot the summer's been, it's been like
it's miserable to have it out in the summer. Like plus in a beanie, it's miserable to have in a beanie too. So it was just never fun. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of hot summers, this will work out maybe. Let's see. I'm trying to work on my transition game,
I know
guys.
the topics and I don't see this, so.
I proposed to my girlfriend last week after taking a very long hike in a very. It wasn't as hot as down here. So basically the big news is that I proposed to my girlfriend.
And congratulations! Let's get some claps. Everyone clap in their car while you're driving.
I thought you take your hands off the wheel and put them together.
And give me a couple of claps.
A couple 5 seconds worth. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Do you knee drive often, Matthew?
I never knee drive, but my car's alignment is perfect, and I know if I let go of the wheel and I keep my hand near it, I can keep it perfectly straight and still use both hands.
I'm a big advocate of the knee driving, so if you're a good knee driver, then go for it.
Yeah. I don't ever really use both my hands, but if I am clapping, I can take my hands off and clap for like 2 seconds.
You'd be fine. Yeah. Depending on where you're at, you're not careening off a cliff. Taking a sharp right. But yeah, the big news is that I got engaged. That's it. I keep getting proposed and engaged mixed up. You say like, oh, I proposed. Or like if you're the girl or whoever, I got proposed to, or like you just say I got engaged, Usually it's like I proposed to someone and I got engaged. I keep saying like I got proposed or
I got proposed.
I engaged to somebody.
It's somebody.
Like it's like that's good. I guess your people skills
like,
are stick.
I can't even think of because engaged is like an adverb, right? It's a descriptive verb.
Maybe.
You're describing something, an action.
Engaged is an adjective, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, because
no, the act of being engaged. Like I got engaged.
Adverbs end in ly, don't they? Like
do they?
Happily. Yeah, I don't know if they all have to, but most of them do.
I could be wrong, but
save it for the grammar podcast.
Yeah,
but
we'll
anyway.
talk. That's the next episode. That's grammar.
But
English class.
Yeah, I proposed to Emma. It was great. We are happily engaged. I've never been engaged before, so it's really weird, like getting used to saying fiance. It's cool, but it's all great. But the worst part is wedding planning. Like, it's been 6 days since I proposed, and it's just like, it's just a lot. Like, I have a nice I'm pretty organized, I'd say. So I have a nice Google Sheets spreadsheet kind of deal going on. Like I shared that with her, and we're putting venues and guest list and blah 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 all on there, And
is that all you have? Is that why you said blah blah blah?
No, I mean there's the things we want and we need, and there's there's other things on there.
Yeah, I was just making.
It is only 5 tabs right now, but I just made it 3 days ago, so off my back.
There's still no, I understand. There's a lot to it, and that's why I'm saying is that it because there is a lot more.
Our mom won't stop asking questions. She's like, so what's the main thing she keeps asking is what's the color scheme? And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. We just got the guest list, the preliminary, this is probably who might be there,
Yeah, you have a guesstimate on certain things.
Yeah. But she's like, what's the color scheme? I gotta know what to wear. I'm like, I couldn't tell you, even then she apparently you have to wait until the bride's mother decides on what she's wearing. The color. That's what she was saying, at least.
But I'm a serial procrastinator, so I don't even know how you guys started doing it this early. It's probably a year out, right? So
Yeah, about.
so I'd be waiting until like probably 3 months beforehand. I'd be like, okay, now we can start paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on, so you
So
got to send out invites, so you got to have time. But like,
it's a year-long thing, like, I mean, some people, like, somebody I knew recently got married, and they did it in like 4 months, like, from the engagement. I'm like, that is good.
That's
More power
quick.
to you. They probably knew a lot of people, I'm guessing. But
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean, it was probably pre-planned in some aspects, like who was coming and
yeah,
that
maybe
kind of
smaller affair because of COVID, but it was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
whew, and like it was a like fancy looking wedding. I mean, like, it wasn't like oh, we eloped at the courthouse, but I'm like, get plenty of time. So like, I'm scared. I'm doing it now because like the main thing I'm worried about is venues. Like, I just was like, if we don't have a place, what's happening? Like, we're
Yeah.
gonna end up doing it in our parents' backyard. It's gonna be a mess. And we
Yeah,
don't need that.
I mean, I'd prefer not to do it in the parents' backyard.
Yeah, I think
It's an option,
Emma's with you
but-
on that one.
Yeah, I would. When I'm thinking of venues, I'm thinking of like, I want the venue to be nice. That's probably
Yeah.
what I'm going to spend the most money on, realistically.
Mhm.
That and then food, probably, just because, you want to be nice to the guests. Whatever the guests need most, really, because it's like, it's your day, but it's really like, you invited 200 people out there, 100 people out. That's a lot of people. Sorry, 200 people, but
200
you
people.
invite 100 people out to,
Normally
cater
it's like
them to a
150.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but speaking on that, I hate being celebrated. Like, I don't like when things are about me. Like, so this is like not like, it feels like planning a party for yourself, but it's the biggest party you've ever planned before.
Yep.
And I just like, I'm like, I don't even want the party. Like, I mean, like, obviously I want to be married to her. I almost said it again. I said I wouldn't have engaged to her. I wouldn't have
I
proposed
wouldn't
to
have
her.
engaged.
Wouldn't have
it
engaged to her. Ooh. But it's just like so much, and I'm like, man, I don't like. It's not even like about me. Like, we want a nice thing,
Yeah.
and we want to show, like, hey, like, we're serious, but like, it's just it's so much money and planning for
Yeah.
an event where it's like it's gonna be great, but I just like, I hate being celebrated. I'm gonna feel awkward not the whole
Yeah.
time. I'm sure it'll be nice when it happens, but
It'll be nice during the day, but like planning
yeah.
it, going up into it, the feelings going into it, like I agree with you. Like I don't even tell people about my life. Like it's a
Yeah,
secret
same.
basically. So it's hard to accept celebration. It's like it's weird. It's not normal. It's like, and plus you're planning it, like you're planning yourself. It's very like egocentric almost.
It feels like that, and I'm not
Yeah.
that kind of person. Also,
Yeah.
wait, what did you just say? I had something.
Egocentric.
No, talking about other people and like having other people like celebrate you and all that. Like, not telling anyone about your life. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, like
yeah.
we were, Emma and I, when we were like, who do we tell? Like, I mean, there were some people I knew. Like, I mean, I had told like some people close to me and my family, obviously. So you text all of them. And then, you get nice texts back from those people and all that. But we
Yeah.
both posted on Instagram, because that's, what you do now, I guess, to announce to the world. And, like, it was, like, a job for like, an hour and a half after I posted it, like, liking people's comments and replying to it. I was just like, oh, man, like, but it was really nice to see, like, the outpouring of, people caring about us. But it was like, oh, man, like, it's already a lot of work.
Yeah. If you ever want an excuse for that, just tell people you're not posting on social media for fear of a phishing attack in the future. 'Cause that's how people gain information on you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sneaky. Yeah,
Little
no,
did you
I
know.
mean, I barely post anyway, but I mean,
Yeah.
I like the things I post are big life events. Like, I'm like, I'll probably post, the next post I'll have is when we get married, and then I guess the next post will probably be when I have a child. So like, oh, sorry if you just heard a bark. I'm house sitting, and they have some dogs, and they get scared at. There was a toad last night outside, and one of the dogs was just sitting there growling at it, like from behind the door,
window?
just like sitting,
Oh, yeah.
the window, growling at it. And it was like, dude, like,
Aw.
chill, like, it's gonna be all right. But anyway, back to the wedding. Like, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Very excited about it. And thank you to everyone who's like wished us well and been praying for us and all these nice things like that. We're appreciative. I don't mean to sound like ungrateful. It's just a lot of stuff happening, and it's something that you never dealt with before, and not dealt with sounds bad, but it's just a lot to do, and
Especially
it's
like
cool
for yourself, like we were saying. It's
but also when you think about it, it's like not just for me, like it's obviously for both of us, and it's the first big thing you do together, and that
for the
sense,
families
like,
too,
like,
in a sense, like it's a ceremony, so but like it's great to get those like happy wishes and stuff, but I've thought about it, and it's like I barely want to post on social media to begin with. Like I post these podcast clips on my social media from the Brothers Whim Instagram. Go follow us there.
Yeah. At Brothers Whim.
At Brothers Whim, and Twitter, same thing. But I post those with no animosity because it's like almost anonymous when I post it. I post it and I don't hear back from. Rarely I hear back. I hear back from a few people, and it's always great. But like, I don't really care if people, congratulate me on getting a nice job or something like that. Like, I don't care if, I show people I have a nice car and they're like, "Wow, great job." It's like, I don't see gratification. I don't get gratification from that.
Yeah, with the podcast episode or the clips and all that, you're kind of just throwing it out into the void. And like you said, no one responds. Like I'll have like a couple people be like, oh, like last week when we posted the Buzz one, it was like, oh,
yeah,
Buzz
I got a
so
few
cute.
responses from that,
which is nice. It's always good to see that. But it's like, other than that, like I mean, like not many people are getting back, which is fine. That's not there.
There's no need to
advertise for
point.
it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like the likes are nice and all that, but like I don't need that. It's like I said, it's more just to update people on life events. Like I don't like to be vain about it, but you have people that care about you that you don't always talk to. I can't text every single person like that. Like there were people from like my old job that I had for a long time congratulating me, and like friends' parents. Like I can't text all these people, so like it's like a mass like. Here you go. If you didn't know, because how else would you know?
Yeah.
I just said like 13 times, but
Truly, like what social media was made for was that, and it's a good idea. It's a good platform. It's like perfect. It's perfect in theory, but now it's not that. It's no longer
like communism.
Yeah, and like, yeah, pretty much. Like, the idea was solid in the start, and then it just became something entirely different.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to see that based on how people post, like what they post. If you're active on social media and you're not lurking, you're posting everything. You're posting everything you do, every little, thing in your day on disappearing things. Like, it's just, I don't do that. I don't broadcast my life. I don't get that. Yeah, I don't. There's no gratification if somebody says, like, oh, like, you look good there. Like, or, oh, like, that's pretty dope. You went to the driving range today or something like that. Like, I don't get that. There's nothing there. And even, posting something like getting engaged on there, it's like, sure, you can't text everybody, but what did you do before that? There was no social media in the 90s, so, like, what did you do before that? You let people know. But, like, I don't even know if I'm going to continue using social media, which is kind of weird.
You put it in the newspaper,
you put it next to the obituaries,
Yeah, and then eventually they'd be like, oh, look at that, you see that? Like, you'd yell to your, like, wife down the hall, like, Billy and Tanya got engaged. It's like, great, cool.
Do you know my brother got engaged? Hold up a newspaper.
Like, I just heard. It's like, there's literally no other way to tell.
Yeah, and yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but have you seen The Social Dilemma before?
No, I haven't.
It's on Netflix.
I've considered watching it, but as with every other movie, when I click on Netflix, I just get discouraged because I know it'll be 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half. I mean, it's but still, I get what you're saying. It's kind of
it's not a good mindset because I'll just go to YouTube and watch like 20-minute videos for an hour and a half, and it'll be the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter. But it's just how I work.
Yeah, it was kind of depressing though. But it was true. Just talking about how like everything's like cash grab for companies to be like, just like we just need they don't care about like your son celebrated his 3rd birthday today. It's like the people that make Instagram are just trying to get money from you. It's like and you can't blame them in that sense in a free market style. So
there was a good example from a YouTuber I watched who talked about the predatory nature of Instagram. He was talking about how I think it was the Explore tab or some tab on the bottom that was like innocent. It was like it may have been like the likes or something. Was recently replaced with the store, like straight up, just
I think you're
taken away.
It's the Explore tab.
Was it Explore? Yeah, and then just plop the store in, and it's like, but they don't care anymore. They don't care that even Instagram wasn't for exploring either. It was never for It was always just for updating your friends, posting a picture instead of posting text to Facebook. And it's like, it sucks that so many platforms exist now because, like, most of them suck. I don't know if you agree, but Twitter.
I agree.
Twitter's trash. The Twitter can be funny, but most other places can be funny. Like Instagram can be. Honestly, Instagram's probably the worst one. So I can't even give Instagram a pro. Snapchat's pretty bad too, but it's technically a messaging service, so can't knock it too much. But
Snapchat's weird now. Like they got like that like underneath the stories or whatever, they have like these weird like clickbaity like look at this. It's like this man had 30 tumors on his face, and I'm like, why am I still on Snapchat? I'm 24 years old anyway.
Oh my god, those are the worst. I clicked on one that it was like a dude tore his pec. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter.
Oh my god, I never opened another one since because it's the most gruesome thing. I didn't think it was gonna be bad. I was like, oh, like probably hurt. I'm probably not gonna see anything, but it just you see everything. You see the muscle just
actually
rip from the shoulder to the pec. It just detaches and like shrivels up. Most disgusting thing ever. And I just clicked off Snapchat. I was like, I'm never opening another one of those.
Yeah, I actually saw it on YouTube now I think about it, and there's a YouTube page where it's like this doctor and he talks about sports medicine, so it'll talk about like, like if like someone tore their ACL in a big game, or like Conor McGregor broke his foot. I think he did a video on that, and it'll talk about like what happened there. Did you see when Tom Segura broke his arm playing basketball?
And
he did one on that.
Yeah,
and it's like he did one on that.
That was one of the worst injuries. I can't watch that one.
The popping sound is gross.
Nah, it's the picture afterwards too of like his arm the wrong way and his leg the wrong way. And he's just laying there, and it's like, no.
Did you ever watch Family Guy when you were younger? Like, do you know when like they would fall on the ground and get hurt, and their arms would be like they'd look like that's what it reminded me of.
It did honestly. It just looked cartoonish how bad it was.
But he was talking about, or he had a video on that pec tear, and somehow I clicked on it, and like he was talking about how like the pec is connected in 3 places, like it's like at the or 2 places maybe. Yeah, I think it's just 2 places. Like at the sternum, it's connected to like at the like chest bone right here, and then like at your shoulder right here, and that's where it tore. So it's like you ever like it's like one of those old like window like pull down things you see on like Tom and Jerry, and you let go and it like flaps up like that. Yeah, it's like that with your pec. It just like flies back, like lands. It's
should
gross.
Never do that. And he was a bodybuilder too, so his pecs were massive, and you could see the muscles when he was lifting because he's also lifting, so you're gonna see him better. Oh my! You see the whole thing just rip off the shoulder and shrivel up. Worst thing ever.
Nightmare.
And Snapchat recommends that to you just so they can make money. And it's like, it's disgusting in a sense. And most of the stuff is just shock value on there, so you click on it.
I was scared the next time I worked out. I did chest workout, and I was like, "Is that gonna happen to me?" Like, is that just gonna?
If there's even a minute chance that could happen to me, I don't think I'll lift weights ever again.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Yeah,
and then I'll tear my ACL, and then
bust your knee open. Like everything's dangerous in a sense.
Yeah. But human bodies aren't meant to last 70 years. We've evolved past where we were supposed to live.
Yeah, they're like, but anyway, just with Instagram and all of that, it's nice, but it's also just too much sometimes. So I'm glad that like I couldn't date someone or be engaged to someone who's like always on Instagram, like posting like all the time. Like I like having to take pictures of someone like that. Like that's what's great about like Emma. There's many things that's great about her, but like like you're not like in that where it's like, oh, you have to go like take a picture, like you go to somewhere nice and you take 300 pictures of them, and you're like, oh no, this pose. Or you go to the beach and like it's like 1,000 pictures of them like playing around in the sand, and it's like
there was
like I mean like.
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
Just a nightmare. No, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, like, it's nice not to have to like worry about that in that sense. It'd be like, why didn't you take a picture of me? It's like, what?
Yeah. I don't think I think I probably have like 6 pictures of like me out anywhere. Like, rarely do I ever take pictures. And as an example, I won't name anybody, but I saw somebody who posted something from, I think they went to a restaurant with somebody, and it was the same picture basically 4 times. In the the Instagram where you could swipe to see the next picture, and I swiped. I'm like, okay, that was the same picture. Swipe, that was the same one. They're sitting in the same spot. Swipe again, same picture, and they're like minutely different. And I'm like, you posted all of these? Like, I don't see a difference in any of them. Like, I don't see anything. Like, it's the same picture 4 times, and they post everything, and it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and like I also see like on those little like short YouTube reel things, like there'll be like couples that like play pranks on each other, like for like TikTok views. I'm like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be in a
Nope.
relationship like that.
Nope.
I'd be like, we're done.
Yep.
Like,
First one that happens, I'd be like, nope. You film that and you're posting it, like, nope, we're done.
like if she was constantly like, videotaping me like for a reaction. Like there was this one, like it was like this girl, and she was like, all she said was like, I feel like I look really cute today, and like she was like videotaping her boyfriend like to see what he would say, and like he was just confused. And like some of the comments were like, "Yeah, I'd be confused if like
Yeah,
my girlfriend said
like,
that," and then videotaped me and shoved her phone in my face. I don't get like, I mean, it's not everyone, and most people aren't like that, but like
yeah.
I just couldn't like do that in a relationship. The
Yeah,
way
it's
people
a
are
lot.
obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Too much for
And
me.
yeah, there are like extremely unhealthy obsessions. Like I will say that I'm addicted to YouTube Shorts, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
They are so hard to click off of. I've looked into how to disable them because I know you probably can. There's probably a really deep setting in YouTube where you could turn them off. And they're so predatory. Like I just want to watch the one I click on. But then it just, I swipe once and then, whoa, new video.
Yeah, you don't even mean
care.
to.
Yeah, I don't
You're
even.
like trying to get off
Yeah,
of
you're
it,
trying
and
to
it's
get
like,
off.
oh, that means next
Yep,
video, right? And you're like,
next
no.
video, and then you're like, oh, okay. If that's not interesting, then you're like, oh, there's more. And like, okay, let me look a little further. And you keep looking. I'll sit there and swipe for like 10 minutes just to look for one video, and then I'll be like, what am I doing? And I'll turn it off. And there are times I sit there for hours, and I'm like, I lose time. I'm like, oh my god, I need to stop. So they're meant to be predatory, and it's,
It's just
sucks.
like it's a very groupthink like way of working. Like you hear about this like in sports, and we're not gonna talk about sports like we did in the last episode, but like it's a copycat league, like in the NFL, where like someone does something good and they're like, oh, we need to do that, and everyone will follow suit. Like it happened when the Seahawks were good at defense. Everyone was like, we need to replicate the Legion of Boom. Or like you see like fast quarterbacks now with like Lamar and like stuff like that, and people are like, we need to stop that or learn how to be that. With all types of what is it called? Social media. Yeah, like I mean, like Snapchat had stories first, and then it's like, hey, now Instagram has stories, and now they're really known for it. Yeah, Twitter actually.
Fleets are the worst idea they've ever had, and
they're getting rid of it. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, they tweeted.
Great, they need to.
It had like 487,000 likes when I liked it. It was because like you go to click on someone's profile and it opens up their fleets, and I'm like, I don't want to watch what a fleet is. Like I mean, it's so stupid, and like, but like everyone copied that, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you see like the marketplace thing. I think Facebook started with it, and then Instagram, who's like owned by who's owned by Facebook, they did it, and like it's just like becoming more of a mainstream thing. And like TikTok.
To be fair, Facebook Marketplace is a bit more of like a Craigslist now, but it was originally the Instagram store. So
which I don't know, Instagram might be like that eventually. Who knows? It'll just be you post pictures of things you want to sell because that's the best way to make money. But then like last thing I have to say is like TikTok. I mean, they're just endlessly stream videos. You just like instead of YouTube where you're like, I want to watch this, and you turn it and you watch it for 10 minutes. Yeah, like, cool, and you click off and you do it.
Yeah,
it's like this endless stream of nonstop 1-minute videos that just constantly get your attention.
I don't think you have subscriptions. It's a For You page, which is just randomized video. It's like the YouTube Shorts, and that's why I'm trying to get rid of it. I never installed TikTok because I know I would curate my page and be happy that I saw the videos I saw, because there are good videos. Like everyone, TikTok is a good platform for people that like that kind of stuff. I don't want to like that kind of stuff, and I know I would. So it's the balance of it all it's really trash to deal with.
We're just constantly like devolving in like a social media sense, like in the like you just see it like it's like, oh, before like we'd like, I mean, like it sounds maybe like old timey, but like you watch a movie and then it's like, oh, how about like it's like an hour and a half, then you watch like a 10-minute YouTube video. Now we're like, give us 30 second, like I mean Vine was like 6-second videos, but now TikTok's like maybe like a minute long video, and you'll just like endlessly scroll through and be doing stuff like that, and just constantly on that same, like, I mean, it's just based on you. The algorithm now is constantly what you want. You just keep seeing what you want, and it's just built for you. Sorry about that. There were some technical difficulties there. The Wi-Fi went out for a second at the place I'm staying at. I'm house sitting for.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's okay. We're back at it. So, speaking of weddings, we were on weddings for a little bit. Well, we were on weddings, and we got way off on social media.
We'll head back to weddings.
Yes. But yeah, wedding kind of talk. We are. I'm going to a bachelor party tomorrow. My I've been to one bachelor party before, but it was just like we all went to Dave and Buster's and hung
Yeah,
out there. It was a fun time. It was for my friend Owen. Shout out Owen. But tomorrow we're gonna go play paint. It's for my buddy Nick. He's getting married in August, and we're gonna go play paintball, which I played airsoft before. Never played paintball. I feel like I'm ill prepared for it. You know.
Have you actually played airsoft? Like,
Yeah.
you've gone no place?
Yeah, Mom wouldn't. Don't. Hopefully, Mom's not
mean,
listening to this one. No, but she. I mean, it's a little too late for her to do anything about it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah.
We play with airsoft gun in the neighborhood. If she wants to know that, toss that out there too.
Nah,
That's all we did.
our mom wasn't into guns. She didn't like us playing with them. She didn't like the idea of them. But weren't even allowed to have Nerf guns for a long time. So yeah, my mom wasn't all into that. But we would sneak around and mess around with airsoft guns because you're like 10 years old and it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
I got shot point blank with a airsoft M16. It was the worst pain in my life. No, that was at Sean's house.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I forgot
Keegan shot me point blank with the M16. I don't even know why, honestly. I told him to go home. I grabbed the gun. I was like, you got to go home.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Nope. I'm like, you can't be here. I'm like, it hurt. It was in the shoulder. I had the biggest welt on my arm because it's the highest power one you can buy. It's a rifle airsoft gun. And he just pulled it up and bang into my arm, and oh my god, I was so mad. Didn't hang out with him for weeks after that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd be upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was just dumb. We were never that dumb with it, and he just took it too far. But there's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
There's not much more I had on air.
No, you're good. I just got distracted for a sec. But yeah, we're going to do paintball tomorrow. Should be a good time, but I'm a little bit nervous in the sense that it's like I don't know what it's like to get shot by a paintball.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad depending on. I know weather plays a huge thing into it. Like if it's cold and you play paintball, I heard it's the worst thing ever because they don't break; they just hit you and fall.
Ouch.
Yeah, and then that's just like a ball hitting. It's like what the police use, like the beanbag shooters or whatever.
Yeah, that's gotta
hurt.
I don't want that in my life.
No,
but I know I'm gonna get like bruises and welts and all that. I mean, that's not lost on me. Part of the game. But it should be a good time. Looking forward to it. And then I think we're gonna pregame at his place, and then go to a bar. His parents rented a shuttle bus for us, to get carted around everywhere. Ooh. So that should be a good time. Not having to worry about driving and all that. Just kind of
a coach bus would be kind of cool.
I don't think it's gonna be that. I
think that's a little much, depending on how many people you have. 10 people. That's not.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, you'd probably get a limo or something smaller. Even then, the bus is perfect. That's
it's probably an airport van, I would imagine. A shuttle in that sense. That's what we did for Owens, and it was nice. Being able to get kind of loose and have fun there.
And you only need one driver.
Oh yeah, but Owen's mom did it for ours, and I think Nick's dad's gonna do it for. So people looking out for you, which is nice. But I'm pretty pumped. It's nice to get loose and like I said, to not have the responsibility of I have to drive later and all that. Yeah. It's we're just gonna be dudes for 12 hours.
And it's the fact that it's so long is what's great. It's you don't usually set aside a day to do something with everybody, so it's it's always good to have that much time. Recently I did that once recently, and it was a lot of fun. Just knowing that there's nothing that you have to do. I took off work. I was just I am relaxing. There is nothing. I'm doing. No homework. Yep. Boys' day out. It's the most fun.
Boys are buzzing. Yeah, it should be a good time. I don't know. It's gonna be a fantastic time. I love hanging with my guys, and it's always good to celebrate people like that. And speaking of my wedding and bachelor parties, Matthew already knows this, but he's probably going to be my best man. So he's in charge of my bachelor party, which is, of course. The podcast. Thank you. You have to say it in front of these people.
Yeah. I gotta show my formalities. I've already said thank you, but
yes, and he already knew. But are you nervous? Are you more excited? You seem to be buzzing with ideas.
I'm excited because I have a lot of ideas, but I think I know what it's going to end up being. And I think you know what it's going to end up being too. Because I thought about it and I was we could do so much. There's so much you could do. Paintball. I didn't even think of that. Airsoft, didn't even think of that. That's probably not that fun. Paintball's probably more fun. But there's so much you could do, but why do something different when you know playing, 9 holes of golf is going to give you just as much satisfaction as anything else that you're going to do.
Yeah.
If not more, because you like golfing. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think most everyone in the group is going to like golfing, right? Like everyone has
most of my friends like golfing. So
yeah, so and plus Sean and Ethan most likely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure people will have fun no matter what. Even if you're shanking balls, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The point is to just be out there, and then, I thought about cramming activities, but there's no point in cramming.
Yeah.
Plus, it's much better to like not have to be in transition all day. So
yeah,
I'm thinking 2 to 3 things max.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 to 3 being like chilling is one of them.
Yeah, hanging out, drinking.
Yeah, being somewhere drinking, is one of them.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like running around like you're like, hey guys, like we're taking too long golf and like you gotta hurry up.
Like,
we got an hour left.
Says we gotta be at bowling alley in 2 minutes. Like, that's not
like,
gonna be the plan.
I sounded kind of lame in like the group chat for Knicks. I texted. I was like, so like we're like, all I knew is that we were going to play paintball at 12:15. It was the time we needed to be there, and like the shuttle was there and all that. And that we wanted to drink, but I didn't know if it was going to be at his house or like I figured we were going to go to a bar, but I'm like, are we going to a bar directly after this? Like, are we going to go back to Nick's and like I just didn't know what was happening. So I'm like asking like I'm the dad of the group. I'm like, are we going to like go back? And thankfully, I don't know. It was nice that people had answers, and I was just like, I sound like a lame-o right now. Like, are we going to be able to clean up?
Yeah, I'm always like that. I'm always like, okay, just make sure. What are we doing?
Yeah, I like to know what's happening. I like to just. I mean, I like to go with the flow in some sense. Like, I mean, like, but I just need to know like a general like. All right, we're gonna play paintball and then we're gonna go drink after we're done like at Nick's place. Cleaning up and pre-gaming.
Yeah. Plus, it's like if you're there and you're asking questions constantly, that's way more annoying than having pre-asked the questions and know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, so I'd be like, how much longer do we have at paintball? It's
like, just wait until we leave, Like, that's the answer you're going to get. So you may as well ask early to know so you don't have to ask during the time. And you can, you can go with the flow then.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of leads itself into that. So, I don't know. I'm pumped for it. It should be a good time. And I'm, like, really looking forward to mine, even though it's not happening for, like, probably a year. But, like, it's still cool. It's cool to think about, like.
It's a lot to think about. Well, my camera just went
I was going to say, you just got super red.
Oh, my God. Nothing in my room changed. Nothing.
A portal of hell opened behind him. You can't tell, but okay, it's going now.
But, yeah, it's fun thinking about venues and spots because I don't even know where it – like, I do want to rent a house. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what bar we're going to go to if we go to a bar. I don't know, any of the logistics. And as the first thing I looked up is, can you rent an Airbnb for a party? And you can't anymore. So I'm shit out of luck for half my ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyone who's listening to us who we may rent an Airbnb from in about a year, we're not going to party.
We are not going to party. There is
we don't party.
We're going to do. If 10 dudes show up to your Airbnb and you look at this podcast, we are not partying. This podcast will not be called Airbnb Party.
Legally, we can't lie on this podcast. It's like swearing on a Bible, pretty much. We do that before every
non-binding
episode.
Contract.
Yeah, we swear on a Bible and we like put our hands up.
Yeah,
and
there's a whole ritual. That's why the red came back up.
Ian Tedder will not lie a single statement on this podcast.
Yeah, and then
so here, so I swear. And then we just go, and then we clap to sync it up, and then we go and we party. Do the whole podcast. It's great.
And then we plan the party.
No party.
Yeah, the one that isn't happening. Well, you gotta plan it just in case.
We'll party at you're at the house, that you're at currently. But at an Airbnb, it wouldn't cross my mind.
Oh no, never.
Wouldn't dream
Alcohol?
of it.
Couldn't be me.
I don't even know what that is. Wouldn't even bother with it. But anyway, it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to both Nick's party tomorrow and then
the future.
Whatever. Yeah.
It'll be a while, so I'm looking into it, but.
Don't be stressed out about it. Like you obviously have plenty of time, and I'm sure it'll be fun whatever you do. But as long as it's laid back, like we don't have like itinerary every 2 hours. We need to be somewhere new, and like everyone's having a good time. That's all I really care about. That's the only thing that I'm like. I know I just said earlier in the episode like I hate when things are about me, but like that wouldn't even feel like it's about me really. Like,
no, it's not. It's about the boys getting together.
It's an excuse for that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Like we said,
thankfully we have
the
like
boys together.
Yeah, there's 7 of us in our friend group, and then I have you and Sean, so that's like 9 guaranteed days of my life. It's just like hanging out with the boys is the primary directive of that day, and I there's no excuse.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun for everyone every time.
Mm-hmm. It'd be cool to like go on location somewhere, but that's just so much to ask of people. Like, I mean, like when I say location, like renting out a cabin in like Tennessee or like going to Vegas, you know, like traditional stuff like that. But like
going to Montana, like, you know, what
Montana
people do.
I would like Montana, but
see now if I had a destination, we're all going to Yellowstone type thing.
That'd be cool.
So.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just so much to ask of people, you know, to be like, hey, like you want to pay for a flight, and probably my flight too, because like you got to
pay a little extra to pay for the Bachelor's flight.
I would feel terrible. I would be like, I'm not doing that. So
I'm gonna feel bad. Honestly, what'll probably end up happening is, out of the gracious of my heart, I'll probably pay a lot more than anyone else, just because I'm planning it, and I'll feel bad asking for money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be renting a nicer Airbnb, but I'll pay for the niceness. Like, I don't want to ask. I'm resenting. That's the only thing I care about, is asking people for money. Like, I don't want to do that.
That's another thing about weddings is, like, I don't want to, like, bank on people to have, like, to, like, give you money or, like, you, like, I know for other people's weddings, like, I'm not going to put anyone on blast, but you could probably figure it out. Like, for the tux rentals, like, you pay for your tux and then you pay a little bit more, because you're like all of you are teaming up to pay for the groom's tux, right? And it's like, I'm gonna feel bad doing that, you know. But I mean, like if
it happens. I mean.
Yeah. So I mean, but now that it's expected in I'm not gonna say our friend group, so I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but I'm gonna be doing it. So, but yeah, like things like that, like, and like having drinks bought for me, like I'm sure it'll be fine once I'm there and a few drinks are in. Like I get that way. Like if we go to, like, our bar that we go to is called High Tops. And like whenever, like, we can get most of the boys out there, like sometimes a couple of my friends will feel generous and they'll be like, who wants to do like a Jaeger bomb with me? And they'll be like, I'll pay for it. I'll be like, hand up. I'll be like, that's me.
I mean, you put your hand up. Yeah.
It's a free drink with my name on it. You know, like I am there. So
the plan would be, you know, like I'd like to buy, at that point, I'd like to be financially stable enough to buy a round of drinks for everyone. But that's a lot of money. So it's like,
but like, you know, I would imagine Nick's not going to buy himself anything tomorrow, you know, like, because
you shouldn't expect to buy anything when you're the Bachelor,
so
but
we're all going to buy him something, you know, I would imagine. I mean, I think he has 9 groomsmen, which is a lot, but that's 9 free drinks at least. If everyone's buying him one, that should do it.
And plus it's like,
and if we're pre-gaming before, so
pre-gaming is huge. That's number one. And
that's what I was worried about. I'm like, are we going to a bar at, like, because we finish, like, let's say if we what do you call it, play paintball at like 12:15, and then we play until like 3. It's like, oh my gosh, we're going to High Tops at 4, like 3:30, and then I'm like, I can't afford that. I'm like, if we're gonna keep a constant buzz the entire night, like, unless we're taking shots in the parking lot, which we do.
I mean,
I still can't do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about with the golf, because I know people are going to want to drink at the golf course. Like, you know, that's what you do. You got to drink while you're golfing, or you're not golfing. So if we're drinking in the morning, are people going to keep a buzz throughout the afternoon? Or are they going to go hard? Or are they, like, you can't go hard.
That balance, yeah. But if you get a shuttle.
Yeah, you can carry people around. But then it's, like, you lose one of the guys, kind of, you know? Because, like... at 4th of July... I drank a decent bit. I thought it wasn't that much, but it hit me like a truck.
It was the champagne that day.
Maybe it could have been. Was it?
So if, like, on the 4th of July, there's been a lot of engagements in our family recently. Our sister's boyfriend proposed to her on the 4th of July while we were all there. Is, you know, really nice. Yeah. But my mom bought champagne to celebrate. So we all, you know, like, popped it, and we had these little tiny champagne flutes, like the little, like, you know, like, conical ones, and, you know, we were just throwing them back, and there was 2 different types, so we were trying, like, different ones. We're like, ooh, that one's pineapple flavored, let's try some, and it was like, eventually, like, I think I had 5 of those champagne flutes, maybe 6, you know? Okay,
see, I think it may have hit me like a truck, because we did they were trying to do a picture of us toasting constantly. After every toast, I downed the whole thing. Like, I housed the whole thing.
Housed the whole... Let me get that.
And then, Give me that. And then they'd fill it back up, and we'd do it again, and I'd house it again. And we did probably, like, 4 of them, and then I had, like, 2 more. So it may have been the champagne that just, you know...
We all did it at the same time. It was Marissa, Evan, you, and I, and we all just got drunk at the exact same time, and then the exact same length of time.
At the exact same time. it was around 6 or 7 o'clock that we all crashed, which is boring. If you can't keep drinking,
it's pretty boring.
It's boring. That's what I was coming around to,
Uh,
When you drink early enough, if you can't keep a buzz and you start going hard, you lose people because they're not going to be doing anything. I would not have done anything past that time.
Yeah.
In fact, I ended up playing poker until like midnight with Dad and Sean, but it was a lot of fun.
I had left at that point because I was sober. So.
I was completely sober, like just the slightest headache, but it was honestly fun because I knew I was fine and I knew I'd be fine the next day.
Yeah.
Usually that's the only reason. That's like the worst part of drinking for me is knowing I'm not going to be okay the next morning. Like, I'm going to wake up and no matter what, something is going to be wrong. It's not going to be, might not be a hangover, but it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a balance.
Not to get into the behind the scenes, but I'm house sitting, and the dogs I'm house sitting for are getting kind of rowdy upstairs, and I should probably end this. So we should probably end this so I can go check on them.
All right.
Sorry to cut you off there, but
no,
I'm looking for.
That's fine. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about all that, but sorry to end this abruptly, guys, but thank you for listening so much. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Brothers Whim. You can subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff on YouTube. If you're not already watching on YouTube, it's the Brothers Whim podcast. All easy stuff to do. We'd really appreciate it if you did that. If you're not already listening on podcast version, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We appreciate you sharing, contacting us. You can email us at brotherswim@gmail.com. It's in the show links, so you can always find it there.
Check the
and
descriptions. Check the descriptions of every post that we make. YouTube.
I was going
Spotify,
so smoothly,
Apple.
Matthew. I was doing
it was
so good,
and then I couldn't speak. But check the descriptions of everything we post. It should all have the links to everything: the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, the email. If you want to email us, so yeah.
And we appreciate all the follows, all the feedback we get, anything you do, even just listening, guys. We really appreciate it more than you know. So with that being said, I've been Ian,
and I've been Matt.
We're so thankful you listened. Hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye.